On November the 26th, 1922, after years of searching the sands of Egypt, British archaeologist Howard Carter finally thrust a lit candle through a small hole leading into King Tutankhamun's tomb and described his first glimpse of the ancient treasures within as wonderful things. While few people are buried these days with the grandeur of Egypt's boy king, many grave goods can prove just as memorable as King Tut's treasures, as the following 13 examples of weird, wild, or wonderful items buried with the dead demonstrate. Humphrey Bogart. Previously married 3 times, Hollywood legend Bogart fell quickly and deeply in love with Lauren Bacall, his eventual 4th and last wife, while filming To Have and Have Not in the 1994 film, their first movie together. Bacall's character Slim utters these immortal line to Bogart's character: "You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow." After his death on January the 14th, 1957, Bogart's cremated remains were interred with a gold charm bracelet whistle he'd given Bacall, which included the inscription, "If you want anything, just whistle." David Brenner, the comedian and frequent guest host on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, died on the 15th of March 2014. Ever the funny man, Brenner was buried with small bills totaling $100 tucked into his left sock, just in case tipping is recommended where I am going. George Burns, the famous vaudeville, radio, television and movie comedian who portrayed the title character in the 1977 film Oh God, managed to live to age 100 despite smoking 10 to 15 cigars on any given day for most of his life. When he finally died, on March the 9th, 1996, Burns was buried next to his beloved wife Gracie with 3 of his favourite cigars. Whitney Houston, following her death by drowning in a bathtub on the 11th of February 2012 and her subsequent burial on the 19th of February, the family and friends of singer Houston worried that ghouls would plunder her resting place. According to reports published following her death at age 48, not only was the singer interred in a gold-lined coffin worth tens of thousands of British pounds, but Houston was also buried wearing up to £300,000 worth of jewels and designer clothes. As of late of February, that's equivalent to roughly $419,000. Michael Jackson. In addition to farewell notes written by his 3 children after the iconic pop singer's death on June the 25th, 2009, Jackson was also buried with a single white sparkly glove, the same garment immortalized in his various Thriller music videos from the 1980s. David Keim Jr. Ignoring warnings from his doctor to improve his diet, Keim still did what he wanted and ate what he wanted. Chief among this World War II Army vet vices was his love of Burger King burgers. Therefore, when Keim died on January the 20th, 2013, aged 88 years old, his loved ones incorporated his burger love into his final farewell. While transporting his body to the cemetery, the entire funeral procession passed through the drive-through window of a Manchester Township, Pennsylvania Burger King to pick up one of 40 Whopper Jr. hamburgers the family pre-ordered. Following the burial service at York's Prospect Hill Cemetery, a Burger King Whopper Jr. hamburger was lovingly placed into Keim's casket. Bela Lugosi. Born in Hungary in 1882, Lugosi achieved cinematic immortality by playing the title role in Universal Pictures' 1931 horror film Dracula. Forever linked with the blood-sucking vampire he portrayed, Lugosi was buried wearing a replica of his Count Dracula cape after his death on August 16, 1956. In 2011, the actual Count Dracula cape Lugosi wore during his filming, which he'd given to his son, failed to sell despite pre-auction expectations that it would fetch roughly $2 million. Bob Marley. Buried on the 21st of May 1981, legendary reggae musician Marley was interred in his home country of Jamaica following his death from cancer 10 days earlier. Believing marijuana was the herb of life, Marley was buried with his red Gibson Les Paul guitar, a Bible opened at Psalm 23, and a stalk of marijuana placed there by his window. Harlan Sanders. You might not recognize his name, but you've probably enjoyed the culinary legacy he created as Colonel Sanders, even though his military rank title might have been honorary. This fast food entrepreneur clearly knew how to cook a tasty bird. As the rapid expansion of his Kentucky Fried Chicken business demonstrated after the first one opened in 1952. Following his death on December 16, 1980, Sanders was buried wearing the uniform he'd worn and made famous since 1950. An all-white suit and black string tie. Frank Sinatra. A 2014 television commercial by whiskey maker Jack Daniels states that singer Sinatra loved the brand of liquor so much it was on stage every night during his performances, and that he's even buried with a bottle of it. As it turns out, Old Blue Eyes actually was buried with a bottle of Old Jack Daniels. Reuben John Smith. According to a newspaper account published in 1899, the day after he died, Smith dreaded being buried beneath 6 foot of clay, so he ordered the construction of a marble and brick sarcophagus within the Mount Prospect Cemetery in Amesbury, Massachusetts. When he fell ill about 2 weeks before his death, Smith purchased an upholstered reclining chair and left instructions that his corpse was to be placed seated upon this chair inside of his mausoleum. Afterward, the key to use to lock the door was thrown away and the entrance bricked up like the other 3 walls. Smith's unseen remains still sit comfortably this way today. Sandra West. Apparently trying to disprove the old "you can't take it with you," millionaire widow West was buried wearing a white lace nightgown following her death in 1977 at the age of 37. What makes her interment memorable, however, is not the nightgown she wore, but the fact that West was buried sitting in her blue 1964 Ferrari sports car, with her seat slanted comfortably. Western Han Dynasty's king. The phrase "I've got to go" can apply to both the inevitability of death and a far more regular daily bodily function, but never before did this duality collide more profoundly than in the year 2000. At the time, Chinese archaeologists discovered an actual working toilet in the tomb of a dynastic Chinese king who died in the year AD 24. Not only did this 2,000-year-old stone toilet include an armrest for comfort, but it also used running water just like modern toilets. So we've come to the end of this interesting video. So if you liked the video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell and give the video a thumbs up. So until then, see you on the next one. Take care, guys.